Hi, listeners. Today's going to be a little bit of a short episode. We just lost one of our beloved cats, and I thought I would take this opportunity to tell the story of the type of cat that Buster was. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you later this week with some more interesting and in-depth history.
You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Good morning, I'm Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi.
And I'm Jason Szilagyis with today's Caffeinated History with the Szilagyis on the BQN Podcast Collective.
Before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our BQN Patreon patrons who make this show possible. Listeners, you can hear your name listed here as one of our associate producers with a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of $5 or more, you can join in all sorts of fun activities with the other members of your collective. Watch your Patreon messages for details. Today's topic is the Maine Coon cat, dedicated to Buster and Boo Boo Kitty. One of the oldest naturally occurring cat breeds in North America is the Maine Coon. They are immediately recognizable by their medium to long-haired coats, furry ears, and bushy tails. They also tend to be larger than other domestic American breeds. It is these characteristics that led to one of the myths about their origins, that they were descended from Norwegian forest cats brought over by Leif Erikson and his Viking colonists in the 11th century. Their distinctive look has also prompted some to say that they are the result of hybridization with a raccoon. The reality is, perhaps, less interesting than these myths. The breed is descended from cats brought over by European colonists, but it was the English Puritans 6 centuries later. Their resemblance to Norwegian forest cats is the result of convergent evolution, by which domestic cats in both areas naturally selected for traits that benefited them in the similar environments. Longer, thicker coats, large paws, and a larger overall size are useful adaptations in a cold climate, whether it is the northeastern seaboard of North America or Scandinavia. The breed became very popular in the late 19th century, winning a few of the early cat shows conducted in the United States. But by the second decade of the 20th century, Persians and other long-haired show cats had taken that top place away from the Maine Coons. Their official recognition by various organizations that dictate standards for show breeds did not come until 1976, though their status as wonderful pets was never in question. They are often described as dog-like or puppy cats due to their friendly personalities. They tend to be more vocal than other cat breeds, more playful, and more social with other cats and even dogs. Their affectionate nature also means they tend to need more attention from their humans. They are not nearly as aloof as other cats. They also defy the stereotype that cats hate water. Their coats do require some care, but not nearly as much as the other long-haired breeds. I can attest personally to all of these traits and more, and highly recommend the breed to anyone looking for a wonderful cat companion. I'm happy to talk about our Maine Coons at some point in the future. But I have to remind everyone, if you are looking for an animal companion, always start in your local shelters. Thanks for listening. We'd also like to thank our History with the Szilagyis Patreon patrons, Pati, Susan Capuzzi-De Clerck, Laura Dull, Kris Hill, Betty Larsen, and Vince Locke. Their contributions help us to have the time to research and write what you're hearing. You can help us just like they do with a monthly subscription at patreon.com/historywiththeszilagyis. Also, thank you to Mark White for the awesome short and Jack Tripp for the wonderful closing music. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well. And while you're at it, check out the rest of the great shows on the BQN Collective. We'd love to hear what you think. If you'd like to reach out, you can find our network on the socials at BQN Podcasts, and this podcast in particular at History Szilagyi. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and in our Discord group. And last but not least, you can find me on the socials at the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia.
And me at Jason Dark Elf. We'd love to hear topic suggestions. What would you like to learn on Caffeinated History?